All right. Well, we are live here on YouTube. Welcome. It's Thursday. What do we got? Thursday afternoon here, Mike?
Yeah, 5 p.m.
5 p.m. A little bit late. Sorry, guys. It's 5:04, so a little bit late here. We are one short tonight. Courtney has some baseball in games to attend with her kids today, so it's just gonna be me, just the boys today. So hopefully, you guys
Right.
enjoy it. We got a few things to talk about today, but first, for anybody out there who's watching, can you just let us know where you guys are watching from? I always like to know if you guys are local San Diego, or you're from another state, or where you guys are coming from. So it's always good to hear. And let me know that you guys can hear us as well. Got my microphone here, just making sure that works. We got it. We got some stuff in the news lately. Obviously, the housing market is the big topic here in San Diego, just because the interest rates have gone up so much in the last, month or two, I guess, really. So in January, interest rates were right around 3%, give or take. Is that accurate, Mike?
Yep. Right around 3.
And now they are creeping up 5%, 5.5%, depending on what type of loan you're trying to get. So 2.5% points higher than they were just 4 or 5 months ago. Pretty crazy.
Yeah, that's wild.
I'm just happy I refied in December, right before the rate hikes, so that worked out pretty well.
Wow, good timing.
Yeah, so I put it off forever. I kept like, oh, they're going to stay low, and then I'm like, okay, I got to do it now before they get too crazy. So if you have not refied, you probably have missed the boat on that. For the time being, I was reading an article today about the Redfin's economist saying that this is how he expects it to go over the next few months, or I guess over the next year. Rates will probably continue to go up a little bit. I don't think they're going to go up too much higher than they are right now. So we're at like say 5.5% now. Maybe they'll end at around 6, low 6s maybe, and then the market will start to increase in supply. And then at maybe the end of the year or early next year, they'll bring the rates back down again once inflation gets a little bit under control. So I'm curious to see how that plays out over the next year, as are most home buyers here in San Diego. Would you agree there, Mike?
Yeah, and hopefully make things a little bit easier from a home buying standpoint. I know rising rates is never easier, but hopefully, it won't be as much competition out there.
Yeah. So I found some articles in here that you guys might find interesting. So I'm going to share the screen. I know we had trouble sharing last time, so hopefully this works out better this time. Here we go. Of course, I lost the other one here. Okay, so share screen.
No beers over there for you, Bern?
I do have one, actually. I have a Sculpin here. What do you got, Mike? Anything?
Yeah, I haven't cracked it yet. It's AleSmith. Have you had this one?
I have not had that. Good?
Yeah, it's pretty good. It's kind of like their version of a Corona. It's pretty good.
Oops.
I like the logo the best, though. That's
solid logo, that one.
Yeah.
AleSmith doesn't really come out with that many new beers.
Yeah.
Okay, here is the optical. Share. Okay, so this is an article from Fortune, and they are talking about areas where they think home prices will dip, and they gave it like levels of different, like is it high likelihood that prices will dip, medium, low, or very low. And if you go down to San Diego, they actually have it a very low percentage of chances of going down in price. So we're at 10 to 20%. So it's not impossible that it's going to go down, but it's much lower than a lot of parts of the country here. So if we go over to Arizona, there's a very high chance that the prices are going to dip there. So I'm not sure exactly how they're calculating all these things. Bend, Oregon, very high chance. A couple places on a lot of places on the East Coast, actually. Look, Maine, Massachusetts, all have a much higher chance of prices decreasing in those areas than San Diego. So I was actually a little surprised by that, because the prices have gone up here so much over the last 2 years that I thought, we'd at least have a medium chance to prices dipping. But I don't know. What are your thoughts on that, Mike?
I think it might be zip code dependent too in San Diego. Overall, maybe it's definitely going to level off, right? We've already seen a little bit less competition. Houses sitting a little bit longer than they were previously. So I have to believe that the prices are going to level off. Hopefully there's a little bit of a dip for, some of the buyers out there.
Yeah.
But I think it really is going to be zip code dependent here in San Diego. Some zip codes are going to potentially drop a little bit. Others are going to, stay around the same. It seems like.
Yeah, and I think
still continue to be hot.
And it might even just be house dependent too. So I don't think it's just going to be zip code dependent, because I even like houses that are like, say you're up against the freeway, or you back up to a main road. I think buyers are going to be a little bit pickier now than they used to be. Last 2 years, buyers were not that picky for the most part. I mean, here and there they were, but for the most part, they just were trying to get a house. They didn't really care which one it was. But now I think going forward with interest rates going up, I think inventory is going to pick up, and buyers are going to be much pickier about the houses they're choosing. Because I'm still seeing multiple offers out there. I don't know about you, but I'm still seeing multiple offers on houses, the good ones, the ones that have big yards or beautiful views or completely remodeled. The ones that are maybe sitting or even price reducing, like this one over in Avalon Point in Rancho Penasquitos on, was it Primrose? I forget what street it was. That it was exact same model. I might have talked about this last time, as a house that sold for 2.125 like 3 months ago. Exact same model. This one was in better shape, but it backed up to a freeway. And it was listed at 195, and I think the highest offer they had was like 185. So that's a $250,000 difference for a house that, yes, it had some freeway noise, so maybe $100,000 difference, but this was almost $200,000 difference. So the ones that you might be able to get deals on ones might not be the most desirable house out there. Just my 2 cents.
Yeah, I agree. I think you're on point there, and it's kind of good news for buyers that they can be a little bit more picky and maybe in this market.
Yeah, for sure. So, and then this article also goes on to say, this is by CoreLogic, rates home prices in America's largest housing markets that are overvalued. So even though they don't think home prices are going to go down much in San Diego, they do say that San Diego, Chula Vista, Carlsbad is overvalued. And then if you go up farther up north, like Ventura, Bakersfield, San Luis Obispo, those are normal markets, but they are saying that Los Angeles and the San Diego markets are overvalued, as well as all of the neighbors to the east of us in Arizona as well. So there's quite a few. Like if you look at all the red here throughout this map, there's quite a lot of cities that are overvalued. So, but it does not mean the home prices are going to go down. And if they do, I think people, like the last 2 years, we had increases of like 20 to 30% 2 years in a row. I think this year will probably be somewhere around 5%, 7%, maybe something like that. You will see price dips in a few certain areas or maybe certain types of homes, but I just don't see home prices going down too much here in San Diego. But you never know. I mean, we've never seen this amount of price increases like ever in the housing market here, especially in San Diego. So maybe there is a bigger correction waiting to be had, but as of right now, the stock market is pretty much tanking. Sometimes when the stock market tanks, people tend to put their money into real estate. So we'll see what happens. Okay, so a couple other things I wanted to talk about. So the median home price for single family homes in San Diego County just hit $1 million. So we were floating around like the low nines last year, and now it's already up to $1 million. I'm curious to see what we say about this time next year. But based on what these reports are saying, it's probably going to be pretty similar, if not slightly higher than it was this time this year compared to next year. So we shall see what happens with that.
Yeah, if those rates keep going up, like if it gets to that 6% range, you would have to think it would put a little pressure on that, right? But
yeah, not everyone can afford, $1.5 million homes with, 6% interest rates. Before, people could do 1.5, 1.8 with, 2.5%, 3% interest rates. But if you're doubling the interest rate, it can almost double your payment. So compared to what it is. Okay, and if you guys have any questions, feel free to put them in the chat. We're happy to answer them for you. And once again, Courtney is not here today as she has some baseball obligations with her kids today in the Rancho Penasquitos Little League. So she will not be in attendance. But if you guys have questions, feel free to put them in the chat. Another big news here in San Diego is short-term rentals are cap on short-term rentals here in San Diego was just passed. So I think, what was the total amount? So I think they're capping the number at 5,400 homes here in San Diego. So I think there was about 10,000, a little over 10,000 homes that were short-term rentals in San Diego. So the San Diego city is capping the short-term rentals to 5,400, except for Mission Beach, because Mission Beach is the biggest touristy spot in San Diego. So they will continue to have more. I think they're going to have 1,100 in Mission Beach. Oh, here it is.
Yeah, they're capping it at 1%. I think 1% of the
Oh,
total.
1%. That's what it is.
Yeah.
Okay, that's correct. So 1% of the homes, which that's going to put a lot of people that have been short-term renting out of the market here. It doesn't go into effect till next spring. So if you're still short-term renting, you're feel free to do that until spring. But then you have to apply for it, and then they have to approve you. So.
And I think they said there's going to be like a lottery too, right? If there's
there's going to be a lottery, and then the way you get on the lottery is like if you've been paying everything on time, like your property taxes and all this other stuff, that you get, I guess, higher in the list. But if you guys have short-term, I'm curious, does anybody have short-term rentals here in San Diego? I'm just curious what you guys are thinking. You're going to continue doing it or what? So please let me know.
Yeah, maybe that'll give a little bit more inventory on the market.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to make enough to make a difference, but you never know. It's it'll probably help the hotels here in San Diego. That's for sure.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay, so yeah, 5,400. An exception will be for Mission Beach, which has a long history of vacation rental. They're going to 1,100 in Mission Beach. So together, the 6,500 available license. So there's going to be 6,500 total. 1,100 of them will be in Mission Beach. So it's a 48% reduction in the current estimate of 12,300 vacation rentals, the Coastal Commission says. So there was 12,300, and we're going down to 6,500 come spring 2023. So that's pretty big. You know, there probably will be some more vacation rentals coming on the market for sale that you will no longer be able to vacation rent. So the rents will probably go up for short-term rentals. If they're capping it at 6,500, there's going to be half the amount of rentals that were before. So,
yep.
So if you actually get one of these permits to rent, you'll probably get more in rent for them. So that's interesting. Another thing about rent, we don't talk about rent that much on this channel, but because we do mostly purchases here in San Diego, the National Zumper National Rent Report says that San Diego is the 5th most expensive for rents. So this is April 2022, medium rent prices. One bedroom for $23.90 for a one-bedroom apartment here in San Diego.
That's wild.
Which is crazy. So if you guys have investment properties, you're making a lot of money on rent, it seems like. I mean, with home prices going up, maybe you're not making as much as you would have, but if you've owned it for a while, you're making a pretty good return on your investment, most likely. So we're only behind New York, San Francisco, Miami, Boston, and then San Diego. So we're even ahead of San Jose, which I think is crazy, because I thought that was like probably San Jose and San Francisco were going to go hand in hand. So that's pretty, and we're ahead of Los Angeles now too, which is crazy. I remember my first apartment in Los Angeles, I had a 2-bedroom for $1,500 in Brentwood when I used to live there. So.
Yeah, I think I read something that rent was increasing, nationwide it's an issue, but I know in San Diego it was over 20% on average. And I just, my neighbor next door rents their house out, and they're just turning over a renter right now. I think it's a 5-bedroom. And they were renting it for $3,900, and now they're bumping up to $46. So
you went up $700 from the last time you rented it.
So that's about what, an 18, not quite 20%, but yeah, they're bumping it up quite a bit just because their expenses have gone up a bit, according to them, but probably just because they'll be able to get it, right? Somebody will be willing to pay it.
Yeah, I have a client that was moving here to San Diego that bought a house in Park Village, and not far from you, Rancho Penasquitos. And he was planning on moving out here, but now they put it on hold for 2 years. So they will be moving out. He's in the military. And now it's a 4-bedroom house, 2,800 square feet in Rancho Penasquitos. He's going to get $5,000 for it.
Wow. Yeah. So maybe they're even under market next door.
That's
crazy.
Okay. What else? Oh, I have a new client that it was out. Speaking of someone that was planning on moving to San Diego and now has put his plans on hold for another year or two. I had a client buying a house in Three Roots, one of the Brio models, and now he is no longer moving to San Diego, at least not for the next 2 years. So he's planning on selling. He closes on it in June or July. So if anybody was looking to buy a house in Three Roots and was unlucky enough to not get one, he might be reselling a brand new house in Three Roots. So it's the Brio, which is California West, single family home, 2-story house. So if you're interested in that, feel free to reach out to us and I'll give you some more info on that one. Okay. All right. So do you guys have any questions for us? That's kind of what's going on in the housing market here. Market has softened a bit here in San Diego. I'm seeing mostly like 1 to 4 offers on most houses, at least over in like the 56 corridor that I've been seeing. I got one offer accepted in Rancho Bernardo that only had 2 offers on it. And we got another one in Rancho Penasquitos that had, I think that one did have 5 offers on it, but it didn't go super high over asking. It was listed at 175 and we got it for 182. So usually those ones would go $100,000 to $150,000 over asking. So I'm definitely seeing some softening going on here. So I'm curious to see if any of you guys out there looking to buy a house, how has your process been? Have you felt like it's more competitive, less competitive, about the same? Feel free to give us your stories. I'm always curious to see how it's going for other people. And yeah, that's kind of, what else do you see, Mike? Anything else?
It's the first time I've been, showing a lot of houses over the last couple of weekends, and I'm actually starting to get a lot of calls from listing agents just to follow up and see how it went. When over the last maybe year and a half, 2 years, we would show a bunch of properties and you'd never hear from the listing agent. They wouldn't have to follow up because they would just get 20 offers or 10 offers.
Yeah, they wouldn't even return your phone call because they didn't.
Yeah, exactly. And now I'm actually, it's kind of weird. I'm actually getting texts from them and calls, and so you can tell it's softening a little bit because they're actually having to work to try to get an offer in or see if there's interest on the property or not, which to me I thought was surprising to see. So it's definitely changing.
Yeah, no, I agree with you there. And I still don't think, I don't think it's a terrible time to buy because I know some people are on different side of the fence on this, because I think prices aren't going up as much right now, but I do think rates are going up right now, 6%, give or take where they are right now. But I do think they'll bring the rates back down again. So obviously it's a little bit of a risk to try to bet on, can you refinance 6 months to a year from now? But I'm pretty confident that they'll bring the rates up, and then once inflation gets under control, that they'll bring the rates back down. Maybe we won't see 3% again, but if you're going to be at 5.5% now, could you see it at 4%, 6 months to a year from now? Maybe a year from now, maybe not 6 months, because they're going to bring up rates pretty much throughout the year until inflation gets under control. So we'll see what happens. All right, let's see who we got in attendance today. Here, let me unshare my screen.
E-Bank from Rancho Penasquitos.
Hey, E-Bank. Where in Rancho Penasquitos, E-Bank? We're must be neighbors, almost neighbors at least. Okay, I hear from Sonoma. Caesar, he's always on here. Good to see you, Caesar. Ivor, Kyle, and April from the Bay Area. Good to hear from you guys. You guys plan on moving to San Diego? Any advice for first-time home buyers? What do you got for them in this market, Mike?
I think just come out here and start to. It really depends on the area you're looking for and what you're looking for, right? If it's a condo or a house, but I think this is a great opportunity. If it was 3 or 4 months ago, you would have had a really hard time getting into the market with how competitive it was. But it's maybe not as competitive. You might be able to get a home that needs a little work, and maybe not as many people are interested in there, and get a good offer in and get it accepted. So if you're willing to do a little bit of work, there's some properties out there that have been sitting for over a week that you can definitely pick up.
Yeah, I always tell people to check those out. Like, find ones that have been made it through a weekend without offers. Those ones, or even 2 weeks if you can find it, or find ones that had a price reduction, and then jump on those as quickly as possible, because maybe they're not going to be like, don't always look for your dream home. I always kind of make the point of saying that too, because use this house to eventually work up to your dream home. Because like I find sometimes first-time home buyers come in, it's like, okay, we're ready to buy. This is going to be our home we're going to be in forever. And usually that's not the case. And, like that's how I bought my first house. I bought a condo, owned it for 3 years. We gained some equity and then used that for the down payment on our house that we're in today. So, yeah, I would say a year ago, first time home buyers were probably almost impossible to get offers accepted. So if you were looking for a home a year ago and you just gave up because it was impossible to get offers accepted, now might be your chance to actually be able to get in there. Granted, just be sure you're going to be in the house for 5+ years or so, just because the prices could fluctuate a little bit over the next couple of years. But as you see from these other reports that we kind of went through, it does not look like that prices are going to dip too much here in San Diego. So we could be wrong. All these economists could be wrong, but for the most part, San Diego has not had a ton of people leave compared to some of these other cities like LA or San Francisco or other parts of the country. So we shall see. Okay, what else we got? Alex Wallace, hi, Burn and guest from Connecticut. This is Mike. Mike is part of the team here now in San Diego. So if you do not know him, say hello. And again, Courtney is not here today, so I'm sure that's why a lot of people have not tuned in, because she is not here. So, what do you guys think about Vista? We are looking at buying in that area. Thanks, John Moore. What's your thoughts on Vista?
I love Vista. I love all that area. I think it's, a lot of people are looking in that area now because it's, a little bit more affordable. You're still pretty close to the ocean. I think I'm probably like, depends on the part of Vista, but maybe 6 miles from the ocean.
Yeah,
you get great weather. You can find some affordability. So yeah, I like it a lot.
And we just had a client buy up there too recently.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and they got a nice little downtown area they've been kind of revitalizing a lot lately. So as far as like what we say the median home price here is $1 million here in San Diego County, you can buy a single family house in Vista for like $800,000. So the one knock on Vista has been the school district is not quite as good as some of the other areas, but as people get priced out of one area, the schools tend to get better over time as people start to move into that area. So, I wouldn't discount Vista. And I think if that's your price range, I think Vista is a great spot to be.
Some of the houses can be older, so you may have to do some work on some of them as well, depending on the area. But yeah, great area.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, what else we got? Let's just hope the Marxist left does not ruin San Diego too, like they did. Sad that they literally ruin everything they go. Okay, we're not going to get too much into politics here, unfortunately. $5,000 rent just buy at that money. I would agree. Although the reason sometimes people do not buy when the rent is $5,000 is because they don't have the down payment to, a $5,000 rent would be $1.7, $8 million probably a house comparatively. So yeah, if you could, obviously I would definitely, with the rent prices now, I mean, you're paying someone's mortgage, just not your own if you're paying that. So beat out 3 offers on a condo in Carlsbad. Agent was surprised there weren't more offers. Yeah, I think that's going around a lot these days. So if you've been on the sidelines for a while, this might be a good time to sneak in there, because everyone thinks the housing crash is coming in San Diego, which I could be wrong. Maybe there is going to be a crash. I think there'll be more of a correction rather than a crash, which is like, could you see certain neighborhoods drop 5 to 8%? I think it's possible. I mean, all these reports are saying that, we could see a 5% increase in prices. But I think once we see the inventory, actually, I want to share one thing. Do I have that slide up here? Hang on one second.
I have a client looking for a condo in Carlsbad currently too. I wish it was slowing down a little bit more. I think it's still pretty hot in Carlsbad. Yeah. I mean, only 4 offers is good on a condo. So hopefully it slows down a little bit more. So
yeah, usually condos are a little bit less. They're not as crazy as far as bidding wars go. But, if people get priced out of single families, then they move on to condos and townhomes. So, okay, let me just share this one thing. Okay, this is the April market report. So if you go up here, new listings. So we actually have less listings now in April 2022 than we did a year ago, April 2021. So 4,300 versus 3,500. So I keep saying once the inventory goes up, that's when you'll start seeing more price decreases. But unfortunately, there's less homes than there were a year ago. I think as we get later in the summer, this will probably go up a little bit. But the problem with more inventory not coming to the market is because a lot of people see the prices going up so much that they don't want to sell their house. So if you look down here, this is the month supply of inventory. We're starting to creep up a tiny bit, but if you look even just a year ago, it was so much higher than it is now. So this was
or they all just refinanced just like you did and got a really low rate, and now they don't want to downsize, right? And
we're redoing our backyard instead of moving to like a bigger house or a bigger yard or whatever it is. So, everyone's got a different situation, but that's kind of what the problem with more inventory coming to the market is. We need more people to sell, but a lot of people don't want to sell because they don't know where they're going to go unless they're leaving the state, which is a lot of the people that I see that are selling. They're actually moving to Florida or Arizona or Tennessee or wherever it is. So that's kind of the issue why people think all this inventory is going to flood the market eventually. I think there will be more. Just I don't know if it's going to be enough to make a difference, but I don't know. We'll see. Okay, what else we got here? Do you think it's still a good time to sell a house next year than buy a house in San Diego using Prop 19? I would not need a mortgage, but a better choice of a house. So do you have a house in San Diego right now? Is that what you're saying? Do you think it's good time to sell a house next year than buy a house in San Diego using Prop 19?
I think taking advantage of Prop 19 is always a good idea. So yeah, I don't think it's going to be a bad idea to sell and then buy. You should be timing the market pretty similar, depending on where you're selling your house from, right? I don't know if it's Northern California or if it's in San Diego, but yeah, being able to transfer that tax basis, I think that's what she's talking about, right?
Yeah, I wasn't sure if she was in San Diego already, though. That's what I was trying to figure out, or not. So, but yeah, I mean it's a great program to use. So the Prop 19 transfer.
And for those that don't know, that's if you're 55 and up, you can transfer your tax basis on your current property, either downsize, you can even upsize, you can buy a bigger property, but it just allows you to transfer that tax basis.
Yeah, it has to be at the same price or higher, right? Is that how it works? Yeah.
It could be either higher or lower. If it's higher, then you transfer your tax basis, then you have to pay the premium above that, the tax basis on the premium above.
That's right. Okay, but yeah, I think that's a great program. So yeah, I don't think it's a bad time if you do it this year or next year for that. So, Mike SDSU area. Okay.
Yeah, that's where I went to school.
Yeah, is that where
he was calling me out?
Did he buy down there? Is that what he said? I forget what the question was.
I don't know, or maybe that's just where he lives.
Yeah. Oh, it's true. My dream home was a mid-century modern Claremont or UC. Which area? I mean, they're kind of similar areas, in my opinion. Which one do you like better, Claremont or UC San Diego? Like, so are we talking about UC San Diego, or are we talking about?
I'm not sure where the UC is from. I do like Claremont. Again, it's kind of similar to Vista, a little bit older homes. You're probably about 6 or 7 miles from the ocean, so you get good weather still.
Oh, University City is probably talking about University.
Oh, University City.
Yeah.
What would you think? I guess between those two, University City probably has better restaurants, more walkability.
I like University City better probably than Claremont. I know I like being farther up north too, so it's slightly farther north, although they're pretty close together. So
yeah.
But yeah, both good spots. It kind of depends what vibe you're going for too. So okay, Kyle and April, still the plan to make the move later this year. Thanks for your email regarding Harmony Grove, Alpha. You're very welcome. Good to see you guys again. Lola, thank you. I moved from Canada and then rent is a little intimidating. Hence, I'm thinking of buying instead of renting. I appreciate the suggestions. You are welcome, Lola. Yeah, rents here just gotten. I mean, when I first moved here, we rented a 3-bedroom townhome in Carmel Valley for $2,800, I think it was. And that same one will probably go for like, I don't know, $4,500, $5,000 maybe now. Over Carmel Creek Apartments, right off of Carmel Creek Road.
Yeah, so Carmel Valley is expensive for sure.
Yeah, that's probably one of the most expensive spots over here now. So, what income percentage range going towards monthly home ownership would you consider normal in California? Well, there's a difference between normal and like what people are actually doing.
Banks want to see less than 35%, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, and I see people kind of definitely push that a little bit too. So I would say less than 35%, but If you could be somewhere between 25 to 30, I think that would be great. But I'd say a lot of people kind of push that envelope a little bit more. Sometimes people do it hoping that they're going to make more money over time. So if you can lock in, you're pushing a little bit for a year or two, then you hopefully by year 5, you're making more money, and then that difference is not as great as it was before. So maybe you were at 35%, now it's gone down to 30% as you go over time. But people's incomes are not usually rising as quickly as the home prices are, which is kind of the problem with being overvalued here in San Diego. So hopefully that helps. Will prices in San Diego continue to drop near pre-pandemic levels if there is more inventory, say in 2023? I don't think it'll go to pre-pandemic levels. Like pre-pandemic levels, there was like, I had a client buy a house in Park Village for $1.2 million right when the pandemic started. The prices actually dipped a little bit when the pandemic started here in San Diego. I'm not sure if that happened throughout the country, but probably did. And now that same house I think would sell for $2 million. So to go pre-pandemic levels down to 1.2, I just think it's, unless, there's some kind of other thing that happens, like, I mean, the stock market drops another 20% or whatever it is, or World War III or something like that. But I think something would have to happen for that to occur. I think just with, even with a recession, home prices usually actually go up slightly during a recession rather than go down. So except for the 2008 one, I think that was like the one time it's actually prices dipped, because we had the recession right when the pandemic started and prices went up. So I could see price, so let's say that same house that was 1.2, now it's 2 million. Could it go down to 1.8? I mean, possibly, but I think that's like best case scenario as far as, best case or worst case scenario, I guess, depending on how you look at it, if you're the buyer or the seller. But I just can't see house prices going down from 2 million to 1.2 again. I just don't see it. Yeah. With the amount of demand that there is still for houses. Granted, it's less than it was 6 months ago. I don't see in what world that could happen. But no one probably thought that in 2008 either. So who knows? If I knew the answer to that, we'd probably be much richer than we really are. So. How's the market looking in Carmel Valley? Still strong to very strong, as they say, I think, in Carmel Valley. Again, the demand is definitely lower than it has been, like 6 months ago. But you're still, the good ones will still see multiple offers. I think you're still seeing like 2 to 6 offers on houses now. You're not seeing 10 plus anymore as much, unless they really underpriced it just to create that fake bidding war that's going on there. But Carmel Valley is one of the more desirable places to live in all of San Diego, at least to some people's eyes. Okay, what else we got? What's the difference in median price between 3-2 South OC versus San Diego? Detached 3-bedroom, 2-bath, South Orange County or Oceanside? Orange County?
South Orange County, I would imagine.
Yeah, South Orange County. I don't really know what the prices are in South Orange County. Any idea, Mike?
No, I imagine it's a little bit more than. Don't you think their median in South Orange County would be a little bit higher of a median than San Diego? Like if we're at $1 million.
What areas are South Orange County? Is that like
San Clemente?
Yeah, I guess that's true. I would say they're probably similar. I would think. Yeah. I mean, they're not. Yeah, San Clemente is Orange County technically, but it's very close to San Diego too. So. They're probably not that difference, but I don't really know what the prices are in Orange County. Sorry about that. Wild and UTC. What's your thoughts on UTC?
UTC is a great area.
I like it. Yeah, UTC. All the tech companies are all over there. I mean, that's if you're looking for a place to park your money or for an investment property or just to live. I don't think you're going to go wrong with UTC because you got the school there, you got all the tech companies in Sorrento Valley.
Isn't that where Amazon is increasing?
Yeah, Amazon's there. Apple's got an office there. Google's got an office there.
Yeah.
If you're looking for a safe place to buy, I would say UTC is probably up there as far as safe spots too. Same with Carmel Valley. Carmel Valley is only 10 minutes from there. So
some people say it's the best mall in San Diego is in UTC.
I would probably agree with that one since it's like the only mall that's still.
I know. Survive.
We still got the one up in the North County Mall. What's it called?
Which one, in Escondido?
Escondido, but I haven't been to that one since before the pandemic, I feel like.
Yeah, good restaurants. Yeah, it's good.
Thoughts on Santee and East County, San Diego? I don't honestly spend a lot of time in Santee, so I'm probably not the best one to speak on this, but any thoughts on it? Like,
I don't spend as much time out there either, but I know it's, has been competitive. A lot of people were looking in that area. You can find some great housing out there. You got to be a little bit more comfortable. It definitely gets warmer out there than compared to some other spots, right? So it's a little bit inland San
anything
Diego.
in East County gets a little bit hotter. So if you don't mind the heat, granted it's a dry heat, as they say, but it does get a little warm there.
Yeah, and you're just off the 8, so you're not too far. It'd be, 15, 20-minute drive to UTC that we were just talking about. So that's why it's desirable. You can get to downtown faster, but you are going east, so there can be some traffic on that 52 heading out there and on the 8.
Yeah. I mean, all those places, Santee, El Cajon, La Mesa, all going to be a little bit warmer. A little, you're actually not that far from downtown because you're just east of downtown going that way. But it's definitely more affordable there too. So if that's your price range, I don't think it's a bad spot to be. Okay. Oh, the Spaniard has returned, Mike.
Vista. He likes Vista too. Is he going to invest there?
Oh, you like Vista? There you go.
Or that's where he's at. Oh, because we asked that.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. Okay. Did you end up buying something in Vista, Spaniard? Please let us know. Spaniard's a friend of the show here, even though we've never met him. Likes to comment frequently. Shelby Garcia, just a tip: when you're showing off homes, make sure you show the cheap and crappy homes. 90% of the country will never own a $1 million home. Show off the crap box, 300K, 400K properties, please. Sure, there's just not a lot of 300, 400K properties because even the crappy ones are $600,000, $700,000. So, but yes, we will show some crappy homes for you. Be happy to do that. Thanks, Shelby. How about the biopharma salary there? What'd you get paid to work at the biotech companies? I think pretty well. I mean, I know some people that work for them, but I don't know their exact salary. But I imagine they pay pretty decently.
Yeah, biotech's growing quite a bit in San Diego. I'm not sure if that's our main industry. Is that
I mean, it's not that military is our main industry here in San Diego, but I know there's a lot of biotech here, a lot of pharma, and they do, from what I've heard, pay pretty well. But I don't know exactly what they pay. Probably 100K plus, I would imagine. My existing house to sell is in South OC, west of 6 miles from beach. Do you think inventory in San Diego will open up houses 15 miles from the ocean, 3 to 2 detached? I think inventory in general will pick up. Again, I showed you that little chart there where how low inventory is. We have less than a month's level of inventory here. But I think come summertime, we'll start seeing that number hit 1 to 2 months of inventory, which is still really low. Like a normal market is levels of inventory is 6 months of inventory, and we're less than 1 month right now. So it's still got a long ways to go, but I think the inventory will pick up quicker than people think it's going to. I just don't know how high it's going to get. So we'll see as it goes. Each time we do one of these, I'll kind of point out what the inventory level is and see how high it's going. But I think like come July, August, you'll see the number come up a little bit. So if you are looking to buy, like for me, I might even like see how the next month or two goes before I pull the trigger. Unless you find, if you try to time the market, you'll never time it ever. So if you find a house that you absolutely have to have, I would just buy it no matter what the case is. But if you're flexible on timing, you're not in a huge rush, I would see how the next 1 to 3 months go and then decide where you want to be. But like I said, if a house comes up that's perfect for you that you have to have, I don't care if it's now or 6 months from now. So, okay, a couple more questions. We got about 5 minutes left here, people. So if you have any more questions, put them in the chat. We'll get to them as soon as possible. Sunshine Yogini, I love that name, Sunshine Yogini. What's the homeless situation there? Are you seeing more of them by the coast? So I was actually just reading an article about this. I had it up here and I lost it somewhere. That homelessness is up 10% here in San Diego since the pandemic started, which is probably not super shocking. I don't see mostly centered around downtown, which is probably the most of where the homeless situation is. You do see them spread into some of the beach communities. Not so much in North County. I think down farther south, you might see them a little bit more. I don't know. What's your take on it, Mike?
Yeah, North County, not as much. You won't see as much homelessness. South County, Ocean Beach has a little, has quite a bit. You'll see, plenty of them in Pacific Beach, Mission Beach area, but yeah, further south, I would say, and then definitely downtown it's starting to become a little bit of a problem.
Yeah, it's been a little problem for a couple of years now. It seems to be getting worse. Westfield, North County. Yes, that's the mall I'm talking about. Thank you, Spaniard. You're always here to help, and I appreciate that. Thank you. Okay, we got one more question here. If you guys have any more, feel free to put them in the chat, and we'll get to it. But we got about a couple minutes left here. Sorry, I didn't realize this was a question and answer chat. I guess I should have just asked, does your company list the more crappy fixer-upper properties? That's what I'm looking for. Love your channel. We list crappy ones and we list beautiful ones. So it's all depends on the property and where it's located. But like I said, there's not, even in the crappy ones, are not 400,000 to 500,000. Unfortunately, I would say, like that we said, the median home price in San Diego County for houses is $1 million. So 500,000 to 600,000 would be the crappy ones. So, but yeah, we will definitely show you some of the crappy ones because, there's a house out there for everyone, I would say.
Yeah, we're definitely willing to help you out. So if you need us to, help you in a search, feel free to reach out. We're happy to help.
Yeah, for sure. And then, so if you have any last questions there, feel free to put them in there. We just want to let you know we have a Top Gun filming locations video coming out on Saturday. So if you guys are looking forward to Top Gun 2, which is Top Gun 1, as you may or may not know, was mostly filmed in San Diego. So there's a lot of locations here throughout San Diego that we are going to show off in our video that's going to be released this Saturday. So keep an eye out for that. And then Top Gun 2 comes out, I think, in like a week. So
yeah, I'm looking forward to that. I heard it got great reviews.
I heard it
All
too.
The critics love it. So
Courtney just watched the original one last night, and she said she did not like it. And I was like, "What are you talking about?"
That was her first time watching it?
No, I guess she had seen it like a while back or whatever. And she's like, "It was like so 80s." I'm like, "Yeah, because it was filmed in the 80s."
Yeah.
So
this one's supposed to be good. So even one of the critics I read said Best Picture potentially. I'm like, oh, come on, Top Gun 2, Best Picture.
So me and Courtney are not talking anymore after that conversation. So that's why she's not on the show, really, because I didn't want her to be on it after she put down Top Gun. Okay. Thank you, guys. Yes, please. How can I contact you? Here I'll put my email in the chat here. You can also find it on livinginsandiego.com. So there's my email down there. You can email there and kind of go from there. It's in the chat, Shelby, in case you didn't see it right at the bottom there, right down there. Okay. I'll put it on the screen for a second. That's me. That's Bird right there. Okay. Okay, a couple more questions. I saw an article that there is going to be a new office space type building by the Bay for the biotech companies. Have you noticed any people moving down here from higher income places like San Francisco? Have we noticed any San Francisco people move down to San Diego recently, Mike?
Oh yeah, that's a high percentage. A high percentage of the people that contact us. It's got to be over 50%, right? Or maybe a little under, but
I would say out of all the people that come here, it's probably about 40 to 50% of them are Bay Area moving down here. And Horton Plaza is turning into like a tech camp. I'm not sure if it's gonna be biotech in Horton Plaza. Have you heard this? But there's gonna be some kind of like that Horton Plaza mall that they used to have downtown. Now it's going to be some kind of campus for either tech or biotech. I'm not sure which one it's going to be. So yes, there are lots of people moving here from the Bay Area for higher income jobs. And I just did a video on tech jobs here in San Diego. Amazon's bringing 700 jobs here to San Diego, which are more like tech jobs, not like delivery type jobs. Apple's going to have 5,000 jobs here coming over the next couple of years. Excuse me. And then Google has just took over an entire building here in Sorrento Valley. So we've had, and then this is not even count all the biotech companies that are already here and like Qualcomm, that sort of thing too. So lots of jobs coming here to San Diego. How much is Mira Mesa? It's right next to Sorrento Mesa. That is correct. It is next to Sorrento Mesa. You can buy a single family house in Mira Mesa. They probably start around 900 now. So 900,000 for a single family, they can go up. I think didn't you just show one in Mira Mesa recently?
Yeah, the 3-bedroom, 2-bath we were looking at was actually under 900, but they priced it pretty low to get decent amount of offers in there. So they had more than 5 offers on that one.
So
But yeah, you
probably
can find, and it was actually decent inside. You didn't need to do too much work, just mainly replace the flooring. So you could find some, 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 1,600 square feet houses in Mira Mesa, which is a great area.
That's
really
good.
central San Diego.
Yeah, it's pretty good. Okay. 2 more questions. Thank you, Brent, for your help. We found an apartment. Oh, great. That's awesome. Congrats. Where in Poway? Let me know. And then Shelby, thank you so much. You don't have to read this out loud. Sorry. Okay. Well, I did. Sorry about that, Shelby. Okay. Well, that is it. Any last questions? Pop them in there. Otherwise, thank you guys all for joining us. We just hit the 45-minute mark, which we try to keep it to, because I have these lights on me and it's very hot in here for some reason. So we're going to try to do this every other week. So if you guys have questions, I'm trying to do it every second Thursday. So if you guys have questions, you can always reach out to us anytime. But if you want to come in here on the live, look out for us every other Thursday. We're going to try to do a live here, and I'm sure Courtney will be back for the next one. So thanks for watching, and catch us next time, guys. Thanks.
Thanks, guys.
Bye.